Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am currently in Luling, Texas, where my parents live. And I just want to do an intro here just to kind of show you God's beauty. You're looking at blue bonnets, you're looking at red Williams, you're looking at the cows. This is gorgeous. And I just want to say that this vlog today is going to be about health is a new wealth. And I want to give you guys some background on what happened to me last year in April. So I'll go in and talk about it as I find somewhere to sit down. But it's going to talk about my heart attack that I had and how you need to prioritize your health. You need to make sure that what you're doing will sustain you. And so once I get situated and stationed, I will come back to you guys and talk about all the warning signs and then the actual heart attack, and then how I have been taking care of myself. So it's been almost a year now that I had my heart attack, and I am, as they say, praises be to the Most High, that I am still here, walking, talking, and laughing and enjoying life and seeing God's beauty. So just wanted to share it with you guys, and I will be back in a few. Bye, guys. So let's get into my health scare that happened last year in 2023. April of 2023, I had a heart attack. Didn't think that I was a heart attack candidate. And as I look back on it, I started to remember things that happened that kind of gave me an indication that something wasn't quite right. There would be moments where I would be sitting at the restaurant with my daughter eating, and I would get and I call it like, it was like right here in my chest. I would say it felt like the size of a quarter, like someone had a quarter and they were pressing the quarter here in the front of my chest, and then somebody was in the back pressing the same quarter in my back, and they were trying to make the two quarters meet. It wasn't pain, it was just pressure. And I would just feel that at times, and my daughter would look at me, and my favorite words to her, just give me a minute, give me a minute. And I would be trying to burp, and I was like, just give me a minute. I remember driving in the car with my daughter one time. We were heading down to my parents' house, and I'm driving, and I see my camera kind of tilting. Let me fix it back. Well, that ain't it. Yeah, that looks better. It was kind of tilting. And I remember driving to my parents' house, and my daughter was sitting in the passenger seat. And I'm driving, and I got real quiet because we were having a really good conversation, and I got quiet because that pressure hit those two quarters. And I said, and she's like, Mom, and I said, hey, just give me a minute, just give me a minute. And I'm driving on the toll road, just 80, 85 miles per hour. Of course, I slowed down, but that pressure. And so I just never really thought of it other than, I don't know, gas. You know, we all say gas. So April of 2023, once again, I was feeling this pressure. And I was actually getting ready to take a shower. And my sister called me, and she was like wondering if I was coming down to my parents. And I was thinking, well, yeah, I'm getting ready to come, getting ready to get on the road and drive back down there. And the drive to my parents' house is like 45 minutes away to an hour. If you're on the toll and you're going 85, you can get there in 45 minutes. But if you drive just 75, it takes about an hour to get there. So an hour to 45 minutes drive ahead of me. And I said, yeah, I'm getting ready to get in the shower and come. And I said, yeah. And she said, what's going on? Because she could hear me. And I said, well, I just have this pressure again, but I'm drinking me some ginger tea because, ginger ale and ginger tea is good for expelling gas. So I said, oh, I'm drinking ginger tea. And she said, yeah. And I said, so I'm just sipping it and it's going to go away. And she said, you sure? And I said, yeah, just give me a minute. And I said, well, let me go to the bathroom and I'm going to start my shower. And she said, well, no, go into the bathroom and keep me on the phone. And I said, well, I'm going to the bathroom. I said, it's not number one. I'm going to the bathroom. And she said, I don't care. Just keep me on the phone. I thought, this is odd. Why does she want to stay on the phone with me when I'm telling her it's a little bit more than just me doing number one. So she said, no, stay. I want to stay on the phone. So she stayed on the phone. I got out of the bathroom, came back, washed hands, and she was right there. She didn't leave. And then all of a sudden, it started to get more severe. I was drinking the ginger tea, and I was thinking, oh my. I said, yeah. And she was like, how are you feeling? I said, I don't know. Just give me a minute. It's going to pass. It's going to pass, because it had always passed in the past. It had passed in the past. I didn't have that problem. And she stayed on the phone. And then all of a sudden, I started to get sick. I had never gotten sick before. I didn't feel any tingling in the arms. I didn't feel any sharp pains. I didn't feel any pressure in the neck. I don't know all the different signs they tell you, heart attack with people and women. But then I started to get sick. And when I started to get sick, she three-wayed my brother in. And my brother was like, what is your address? And I got sick, was laying on the floor in my gown. And I told my address. I was very aware. I said the address. And luckily, the house we moved into, the one we had just built, had these where you could unlock the door with your phone. And so my brother was like, yeah, I'm calling the ambulance. And I kept saying, oh, wait, no, guys, really. I know I'm sick, but I think it must have been something I ate. Just give me a minute. And I was breathing hard. I was trying to do what I call breathing meditation. Well, I was trying to relieve the pressure, relieve the gas. And my brother hung up. His wife got on the phone, and she's hearing me doing this breathing. So she thought I couldn't catch my breath. Bless her heart. But no, I was practicing breathing meditation in the process of having just gotten sick on the floor in my bedroom. And the next thing I know, there was a knock at the door, and my sister-in-law said, my brother told her they're there. And I pushed the little button and locked the door, and I just seen people coming into the room. And I had called my husband. He's at the grocery store, didn't pick up. So I guess he came home, and outside of my house was an ambulance and a fire truck, and he walked into the room, and it was like maybe 12 people in the house, and they were there, and they were monitoring me, and they put me on a gurney. And I remember thinking and I never lost consciousness, and this is the part that I'm so thankful and grateful for. I remember them putting me on the gurney, and I kept thinking, how are they going to get me off the floor? Then I thought, how are they going to get me out of the room through that doorway? Then I thought, how are they going to lift me into the ambulance? My brain was just on 10. I was thinking about every little thing that was happening. And they got me in the ambulance. And this is an important thing I want to say. The lady in the ambulance, she started to run EKG, where they monitor the heart and see if the beep, beep, beep. She ran it, and she said, it's not registering. It's not showing a heart attack. And I'm sitting there, laying up there, listening to her. And I'm watching this real cute little guy on the side saying, ma'am, just be calm. Just be calm. He was in his 20s. And I was thinking, oh, you're such a cutie. Thank you for being so concerned. This is what my mind is thinking. And this lady is saying, it's not registering. And the people in the front were like, run it again. And I'm trying to look over my head to see who's talking above me. And I could see one of the drivers saying, just run it again. And she ran it again, and she tore it off, and she said, see? And she held it up. And when she said see to them, I looked up, and I wanted to see, and I saw the heart rhythm, just a normal heart rhythm. So the EKG did not register a heart attack. So I get into the hospital, and they take me in, and they're like, okay, let's do whatever they started to do. They put an IV in, they started that whole thing. And I remember, and I tell people, and it's funny, I remember I had on my gown. Like I said, I was getting in the shower. And all I remember was that my gown was like ripped over my head. And my husband was there at the time. And I told everybody, I remember this one song hit my brain. And maybe some of y'all know it, some of y'all may not know it, but I remember my brain saying, oops, there goes my dress up over my head. oh my. And I'm like, oh my. Oh, can y'all put something over me? Then they finally put a blanket on top of me, but it was comical in my head, but I was so aware. And then they said, we're going to run not the EKG, but they're going to run a CAT scan where they're going to put I guess the iodine in my body and run it through to see if they see anything. And they did that, and when they ran that, they saw that one of my arteries, and I'm gonna get the name of it. My daughter always tell me, but they call it the widowmaker. The left ventricle. I'll get the name and put it up here so you guys can see it. But they said that was the widowmaker. It was 100% blocked. 100% blocked. All the other arteries were not blocked. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening to them say, we're going to take her in. They rushed me into ER real quick, put a stent in and rushed me back out. And it's like immediately after that happened, I looked really bad going into it. I didn't realize I was as sick as I was. But I realized after getting the stent, I just could feel a difference in my chest. I felt, I guess, I don't know want to say it wasn't a tightness anymore, but I could feel something had changed. Now, the thing that puzzles me, and I've asked my doctor, the cardiologist, twice, and and if you guys know, please tell me, but I'm like, so did I have a heart attack if my heart never was attacked, but my artery was clogged and it was causing me to have, I want to say cardiac arrest, but I heard if you have cardiac arrest, that's when they have to pump you and resuscitate you. So I don't believe I had cardiac arrest because I never lost consciousness. I was very much aware of everything that was going on and around me. So I don't know, I don't even know how to deem it other than I say I had a heart attack because I got a stent. And so after the stent, they wanted me to go to 6 weeks of cardiac rehab. And I didn't really know what that meant. I was thinking, are they gonna plug me up to something and pump my chest or make me breathe or I don't know. I just didn't know what it meant. And what it meant, and it was really kind of cool, it meant going to a gym with all the other cardiac people or patients, or I guess people, they were former patients of the hospital who were there to rehab. And they would put all the monitors on me and I would get on the treadmill and I would do the weightlifting and get on the little cycle machines. And the thing that I thought was really touching for me is that most of the people in there were elderly and they were so sweet. So I was hanging out with some of my elders in there just pumping away and, pumping the weights and running. And they were like, you're a rock star. And it made me feel good. I think I enjoyed the cardiac rehab in order to get myself into that mental mindset to work out. And I was going 3 days a week. 3 days a week, I think it was. I was going 3 days a week. But I really enjoyed the other people there, the elderly people, because they were so sweet. They were so calm. They were so encouraging. And I would encourage them. I would see them and they would get their number up to a certain level and I would like cheer them on. So I enjoyed just being around those older people. It warmed my heart. So after doing the rehab I did it for 12 weeks, almost 3 months. I was there for almost 3 months, a little over 3 months, or right at 3 months. And they give you a little certificate and say you graduated and you get a little shirt. So I really did enjoy that. It did get me in the mental mindset of working out and moving a lot more than I was, because I will be honest and said that my career field in accounting, you sit in front of a computer and you're constantly working your fingers. You're doing, accounting, you're doing numbers, you're doing assessing stuff. You're not moving around. So you can become very lackadaisical, very complacent. And I had. I wasn't eating bad. And that's the thing that I want to tell you guys. It wasn't like I was a fast food eater. I had actually gone in and did vegetarian for about a good, almost about 3 months. And the year before that, I'd been a vegetarian for a year and a half. So I wasn't eating a lot of junk food. What I will tell you, and I've heard, is that, and my brother said it, is called cortisone. Stress and cortisone will go in and clog arteries. It will go in, and they say it's like a sticky substance that will go in and just clog up some arteries. When I say my stress level was here, and I mean, it was stress from work, it was stress from life, it was just stress. And I kept saying, but I'm not eating bad. I don't eat red meats. I eat it very few and far between. So I'm mainly, I was mainly a pescatarian for, like I said, a good little while, and vegetarian for a good little while. And then I started introducing chicken back into my diet. So, but my stress was off the chain, off the chain. Now it's almost been a year since my heart attack. And what I want to say is that the reason why I know my stress level was so high, um, I, I cut my hair years ago, and my hair literally stopped growing. It just said, no, guess what? We're not going to grow no more. And then I started to get bald spots in my hair. And I was like, okay, my hair is not growing, and I'm showing bald spots. After I had the heart attack and got the stent, it's like my hair decided it was time to grow again. But then at the same time, I started to do what I call breathing meditation. I do my breathing meditation whenever I'm feeling as if my level of stress is going up. And I do it with my daughter over the phone. I'm like, okay. And she's stressed out from school because she's away in another state. And I would say, okay, let's do breathing meditation. And I go in and I say, let's inhale, take it in, hold it, and then I'll tell her exhale. So I'll go in and hold it for, so many seconds, and then exhale. And I would do that about 3 times. Just do that breathing meditation and just kind of focus on your breathing. Don't focus on anything else in the room. Just hearing yourself inhale, hearing yourself exhale. Also, I get up and I'll walk. And if I can't get outside, because we had a cold front here in Texas for a while, so going outside, it was a little chilly, but I would walk. And I would walk in my house around my island. Back and forth if you have a hallway. Mine had an island, so I would go from the hallway to the island around. And I would go in and do that for 30 minutes at a brisk pace. And then I would go in and I started checking my blood pressure every morning. And then also sometimes in the evening. But I will say this, after my heart attack, they put me on a lot of medications. I walked out of the hospital, have not ever taken medicine. I had no prescription medications in my medicine cabinet, to coming home with 5 different medications. 5. One of them they gave me that I took, and it really messed me up. It was where you put my grandmother used to put under her tongue a nitroglycerin patch. So they gave me that, which was like a nitrate. That made me feel horrible. And I actually asked the doctor if I had to continue taking it. And he said, well, do you have pain? I said, I've never had any pain at all with my heart. Never had pain. So he said, well, you can stop taking that nitrate. I also came out of the hospital with an Atorvastatin, which is something to bring the cholesterol down. Now, mind you, one of the arteries was 100% clogged and the others are 0% clogged. And he told me 0%, but they put me on a Atorvastatin. They also put me on a blood pressure pill, Metoprolol, I think it's called. I'll put the name up there. And then they put me on Clopidogrel. Clopidogrel is a blood thinner, in addition to me taking an aspirin with that Clopidogrel. And when you take a blood thinner, if you bump yourself, and I knew but I wasn't used to it. You can bruise easily. So bruising on me, I was looked like somebody was manhandling me left and right. And my husband got to the point where he said, "You need to wear long sleeves when you go out in public with me because they're gonna think I'm grabbing you and I'm throwing you around." So I had to start being real careful on how I moved in the house because I bruised, and that's basically you're bleeding internally. You know, you're hitting your skin and you're bruising. You're bruising that blood vessel. So I was on all of those medications. Now, the thing that really disturbed me, I went back and I had my blood work done. When I went back 3 months later and had my panels ran, the nurse, or no, it was a doctor, no, it was a nurse, it was a PA, and she said, "Oh, you are now, your A1C is now 6.6, and you are a diabetic, and we need to put you on a medication called, oh gosh, what is it? It starts with an M. Metformin." And I looked at her and I said, "No, I've never had any kind of problems with my blood sugar levels. So no, I don't accept that." And she's like, "Well, no, I'm looking at your numbers." And she showed me, and I'm thinking, what the heck happened? And I said, "So did any of the medications that I was taking, did it thrust my body into early stages of diabetes?" And well, I wasn't in early stages. Apparently I was at 6.6 A1C. And that's, I think, if I understand right, you smack dab in the middle of being a full-fledged diabetic. And she's like, "No, that the medicines don't do that. They don't work like that." And I'm sitting there looking at her thinking, I go in every year and I get my annuals, my female annuals. I do it on my birthday. That is my birthday gift to me. And I get my blood work done. I run all the panels and I get all of my reports back so I can look at it myself and say, well, look at my levels here. Look at my levels the year before. I've been doing that for over 20 years. Over 20 years. That's my birthday gift to me. And I was thinking, I have never had a problem with my sugar level. So I jumped in the car as soon as I left the doctor's office, got on Google, and I said, "Google, what medications, prescription medications, can put your body into a diabetic state?" And the very first thing that came up on my iPhone screen was a statin. And the number one was an atorvastatin. And I said, "You got to be kidding me." So and I don't suggest you do this, but I'm telling you what I did. I went in and I took myself off that statin immediately. Immediately. Didn't tell my doctor, didn't call my doctor and say, I'm taking myself off. Because I'm with the knowledge, first of all, my other arteries are 0%. He put a stent in this one. Now, I don't want the one with the stent to start accumulating cholesterol if that's what it was. So I need to make sure I keep that stent clean. So I started taking an herbal supplement. And the supplement I started taking was niacin. Niacin is a natural statin. And I took that for 3 months straight. And they tell you when you go and you get your blood work done that every 3 months, apparently your blood, whatever's in your system, in your blood system, it somehow cycles out. So that when they run a new panel, they would like to wait 3 months before they take your blood work. I went back 3 months later, and my A1C had dropped almost 4 points, and she was like, "Oh, so what are you?" She said, I said, I told her, I said, "I'm not doing a lot of sugar." I said, "I stopped taking the statin." I said, "I'm not doing a lot of starches," which was my diet anyway, because I don't do sugars and starches to that degree. But I said, "I start taking niacin." And she said, "Well, just go ahead and keep on with your diet." And she said on my form, "Get your diet of a low sugar, low starch diet." She never once said anything about me taking the niacin. Now, what I will tell you about niacin, and I still do my research, even though I'm taking this natural product, niacin is one of the number one herbal supplements that can cause toxicity in the liver. So you can't stay on it for a long time. So like I said, I did it for like 3 months, and actually I did it another 3 months, and now I only take the niacin once a week. So I don't take it every day like I was taking it for that 3 month or 6 month period, because I did extend it to 6 months. So I only take that niacin like once a week. And I'm going to go ahead and have my liver checked, and once again run my panels to see what my what the A1C looks like, because once again I'm not taking that atorvastatin. The other thing that I found out that raises the sugar level is your metoprolol, the blood pressure pill. So the blood pressure pill is known to raise the sugar levels. So I was taking an atorvastatin plus the metoprolol, and my sugar levels went up. Like I said, I never had these problems, ever. So I am now, and I'm going to show you my regimen for my blood pressure, what I do, and just kind of show you, walk you through it. But I have actually, it's been over a week now that I have taken my metoprolol, my blood pressure, and it's actually a beta blocker is what they call it, that I haven't taken it due to the regimen that I have implemented in my diet. So let me cut away from here and go downstairs and kind of give you an overview of what it is that I do. Be right back. All right, so this is what I do each morning. So let me just kind of lean down. So what I do is I take this product. I take this red hibiscus tea. I actually get this at Sprouts. I think you can get it at Whole Foods, but this is the one brand that I'm using. It's the red hibiscus tea. I go in each morning and I take out my little package right here. I'm gonna squat. And the thing that I do in addition to it, and they said this is another thing that's good for blood pressure, and I got it at Sprouts as well, is ginger drops. So I go in and I put a drop of ginger in my little Hydro Flask teacup, because of course you guys know Hydro Flask is good to keep things cold. It's also good to keep things hot. And I come over here, and I'll just turn my little camera around here, and I fill it up with some hot water. And this is, you know, you can actually use a tea kettle, but I actually have this little contraption where I can get my hot water immediately from the container here. And and I'll come back over here. The red hibiscus tea has a natural sweetness itself, but what I do is I go in and I put in 2 of the stevia, however people say it. My camera is twisted again. I'm moving around a lot. So it's not, there we go. I think that's better. So I go in, and so my camera dropped. So I go in and I put in 2 packets of stevia. And I've actually already put them in, so I don't want to put any additional stevia in, or stevia. I put that in, I stir it up, and then I let it sit for about 30 minutes to an hour. I just let this sit and just kind of steep so that the tea is really strong. In addition to that, and you probably guys see this here, maybe not. Let me just kind of tilt my camera down again, and over here, I'll move this out the way. I actually take my blood pressure every morning. And when you take your blood pressure, and I found this out looking at another YouTuber that said that when you go in and you take your blood pressure, you do it twice within a 5-minute period. So when you take your blood pressure, they say you sit down, make sure that your back is straight, your arm is extended, and it's, you know, rested on something, and you put your both feet flat on the floor. And what you do is just kind of breathe in, the breathing meditation. We just breathe in and breathe out and just kind of calm your body. Run your blood pressure, wait another 2 minutes, run it again. And that's when you get an average of what your blood pressure really is. And once again, you know, 120/80 is what they say is the recommended blood pressure. If you're over 80 and over 120, they're saying you basically have high blood pressure. But you got to take into consideration when you're running and moving and have something that happens that excites you, it'll maybe, you know, spike your blood pressure. So that's why you sit here and you do this 2 times and kind of make sure that you're relaxed so that you get a true reading. So basically that's my regimen, my routine that I do. I will say that, like I started out at the beginning of this video saying that health is the new wealth. So if you want to be wealthy, then hey guys, let us all stay healthy. That is how we can extend wealth here on this planet. Anyway, you guys have a good one, and I'll be back again with hopefully some more good information. Bye now.